Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Degrassi video. And this time I am talking to you about my Degrassiisms. This will be number 150 in the series. I don't do a special intro to my Degrassiisms. I just basically say Cutters, Degrassi Unpopular Opinions, but that's a different tale. Anyway, I came up with the feeling I wanted to do my 150th Degrassiism. Now, Degrassism is a Degrassi video on my channel that deals with a certain topic, but it does not deal with unpopular opinions because that's for a different list, and I've hit number 200 on that one. The fact of the matter is that, I've gone through my Degrassiisms, and I'm looking at my Degrassi stuff as of right now, and all that. So, yeah, my Degrassiisms. When I look at my 149 Degrassiisms, I got the Degrassi shooting timeline, Rick Murray case study, a lot of things to do with Rick, like 5 things Rick didn't do and should have done, why Rick was not punished for his Terry crime, Radich screwing everything up, a poll video about his biggest blunder listed in season 4. I did a lot. To do with Degrassi and all that, the Degrassi villainy and all that. So I've done plenty of videos, top tens and all that, case studies, you name it, you got it. So I went through, so I'm not going to go through all my Degrassiisms. So you see the poll about my 150th Degrassiism, and 3 of them stood out. So my number 150 is the top 10 things to do with my like knowing about my like what Reddit has taught me and all that. So I'll get that list up and ready. But do note that because of how popular the second and third place are, those are Degrassiisms number 151 and 152. So 151 will be defending Emma 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, as you see on the screen. And number 152 is a J rant. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me in my 150 Degrassiisms. I'm Jeff Diamond. Now let's get to the main event. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's me in video form. It's Cutter. And yeah, you say you have too much facial hair. Yeah, I know. But regardless of that. Anyway, so yeah, this is the top 10 things Degrassi Reddit has taught me. All that. Truth be told, I actually struggled in trying to find 10 things about Degrassi and all that. So here's the list. Number 1, including me when I joined in 2019 and listening to my stuff. So it's 2019. I was making videos on the most villainous people of the Rick Murray storyline. I had like a modus operandi because I don't know why I got so interested in the Rick Murray storyline again, but I did. So I figured, well, let's figure out why, and then how Degrassi Reddit, all that. So I found out Degrassi had a Reddit page because I knew Reddit was where fans of certain shows would talk about things, and so they did. And I saw how big it was and all these agreements, and I'm like, okay, well, let me make posts and all that and see where I go from there. So I made a few posts. I put up a few video links. I try to get the Reddit people's opinions on things. Number 2 is the overbounding hate of Emma, Craig, Ashley, Claire, Maya, Manny, basically the main people. So, yeah, it's like the one thing I take away from Degrassi Reddit is the hate of many characters. Yeah, they're young, they're teenagers, they don't know better, but the fact is the hate for like no damn reason. Well, I know that the characters can get hated and people hate their decisions, but they're teenagers, they need time to grow, and they realize their mistakes and all that. Like, you can hate on these characters. I have no problem with that, but to over hate is one terrible thing. And that's why I don't like it sometimes. The fact of the matter is that, you hate on, people nitpick on one little thing and, blow it up out of proportion. Number three, there are people who will downvote you no matter what point you make. I know that often enough. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, downvoting people is just not right. But, I try my best to understand the situation and to make things happen and all that. Uh, Number four is creating polls, thus giving me ample chances to do top tens and all that. So the fact is that, you can make polls. So that gave me the idea how to do polls and to like figure out, okay, well, what's your favorite season? Um, and all that. And, making polls, like putting them into subsections and then just taking those results and then making more polls and all that to cut down to the nitty gritty and how people voted on my polls. There were some polls that had unanimous first places and all that, but that was great. Number five is the love from Rachel Viola and Accomplished Cup, among others, for Reddit. Those are two of my main contributors to my stuff and all that. And what Rachel said in my unpopular opinion number 138, and also some other videos about Radish and his role in the whole Rick Murray situation and all that he was just, you know, burned out and all that. And it makes sense. But yeah, I think those two were some of my comments came from them, and I know they didn't really make videos, but the fact that they commented and just basically set me straight a few times was just fantastic. I know there's no backstage stuff with them because they don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what they're saying until I say it. Number six is the many creators with infographics, screenshots, and the like. Many creators were basically my muse and all that. I know Not a Vampire was my muse, but she's not really on Reddit that often. So factor in that, people create polls and all that. And I've taken a few people's ideas and said, you know what, I'm going to run with it and make my own videos and do top tens and all that. One such example was taking an example. Someone had done, I don't know, I can't remember. I've just lost my head here because of everything. So I have to go into my Degrassisms. All that. So, the top 10, 12 characters bad plot lines and the top 10 disappointing plot endings and all that. Those were ideas that actually came from other Redditors, but I decided to run with it and do a top 10. And I basically gave them a message saying, this is what I'm doing. I'll credit you. Don't worry. And yeah, it was great giving me topics and all that because a lot of those um, topics they did made me think, okay, well, what's a Degrassism and an unpopular opinion and all that. Yeah, giving me the 200 unpopular opinions. I need it. Number 8 is the whole JT. Sorry, number 7, excuse me. The many comments on my post that made me think. And the fact of the matter is that, it's a great idea and all that. But the simple fact is that, it always makes me think about things. And how to change my perceptions and all that. I mean, people give me some good feedback and some bad feedback, but it doesn't matter. I enjoyed it. Number 8 is finding out about JT and Terry's dismissals being controversial. So, because within the Reddit community, it was well known that JT's character Ryan Cooley basically said, I'm going to university, kill me off in gory fashion," and Terry just left the show to do her own modeling thing. However, I found out through my 5 years of Reddit that that wasn't the case. JT was just basically written off for some dumb reason. I don't know what the writers were thinking about, or CTV for that matter. And Terry's dismissal was that someone at CTV must have had a hissy fit with Terry and just basically didn't allow her to come back for season 4, which would have been big because it would have added to the gravitas of the whole Rick Murray situation. And then, of course, JT being written off, it was stupid. Like, they wanted to kill off JT. They had this war with Lakers, and then JT was victimized. It just didn't sit right with me. Number 9 is doing the season 4 stuff on Reddit, and responses made me change perspective. A lot of my posts on Reddit had to do with the Rick Murray storyline. I did the polls such as, the top 10 characters you hate after Rick. Because, I figured that, oh, well, the top 10 villains of the Rick Murray storyline. Well, Rick's number 1 for obvious reasons. He brought a gun to the school. So who do you hate more afterwards? And then I did that and found out what you all thought of it. And then, my unpopular opinions to do with season 4. Like, I talked about that stuff, and then you gave me feedback and all that. So, yeah, a lot of my feedbacks made me change perspective. The biggest thing that changed my perspective was on Raditch. Now, say what you want about Raditch, but I think Raditch was a pretty good character. But the problem is that taking the kids to school, like, not preventing Rick from coming back. I think in his mind he should have done it. And maybe he did. I think maybe there's a 90% chance I think he was going to do that, but without a criminal charge and the school board probably in his ear, he can't really do anything about it. So basically, they made Raditch into a prick and all that. Yes, he was a prick, and he was the adult that should have solved the situation with the students and Rick. Like, yeah, he left Rick high and dry, but the fact of the matter is that, like, Rick was not straightforward and all that. People miss out on these things. One such example about people, like, making me change perspective of season 4, other than Raditch, was one guy saying that, or one girl, I can't remember, saying that, when I talked about my deleted scenes and all that, he says, there was another deleted scene with the Dungeons and Dragons and with those dice. And it made me think, it was like, oh my gosh, you're right. I should have deep dove into that. Oh no, it was a YouTube comment and all that. I think it was YouTube. Yeah, it made me change perspective. But yeah, I mean, putting up with my season 4 stuff was great. And of course, lastly, it's a forum to express my opinions and having people not judge me and upvote me when need be. That's just pure stuff and all that. So it's just amazing what happens here. So yeah, like, it's amazing how Reddit puts up with me and all that through 5 years of stuff. So as I said, I'm going to go through some of my Degrassiisms. Like, once I get to number 150, obviously I will post the playlist link in the Reddit community and in my YouTube video. You got the Degrassi shooting timeline I talked about. I did a case study about Rick stuff, 5 things Rick should not have done, why Rick was not punished for his Terry crime. These are Degrassiisms, not Degrassi unpopular opinions. That's a different thing. How Raditch screwed up, and this was 5 years ago. And I did a poll video about Raditch's biggest blunder in season 4. I talked about how Raditch goofed up and all that. aftermaths, like who had the like aftermaths, like I didn't rank the top aftermaths. I just said stuff. Hold on, whatever it takes. I did the end video for whatever it takes dissecting the Rick Murray storyline. Talked about in May 2019. I talked about 20 things I learned about the Degrassi storyline. Talked about Devin Selvey, the case in Canada about Devin Selvey being bullied and then shot dead or stabbed dead. Sorry. And then the similarities with the Rick Murray storyline. Similarities with the Claude and Rick story. Well, Claude from Degrassi High and Rick from season 4. What ifs? The poll video 10 villains not named Rick and all that. 25 great Degrassi episodes. How Degrassi Next Gen started. Maya's hate isn't warranted. Degrassi parents' deaths. Gun violence with how Degrassi is and all that. Talked about the 20 in winter episodes. Top season premieres, top season finales, character case study on Emma and Peter and Claire and Audra and Snake. And talked about Connor. You know, Connor, we had study in Asperger's syndrome. Talked about the chef. Talked about Zoe. How they should be ashamed of themselves about Shane. Top redemption arcs. The worst Degrassi parents. And all that. Top bullies. Top shocking moments. A farewell to Dave Turner, aka Jamil French. Asian appreciation video. Talked about Lucy Fernandez being a great character. Talked about a lot of polls, a lot of storylines. Like polls about the top Degrassi parents, the worst Degrassi parents, the worst characters, everything else. Everything under the sun. And don't worry, the playlist will be in the videos. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm still alive on Reddit. And still will be. That's the point. Anyway, I'm Jeff. I'm going to do.